Welcome yourself back to another YouTube video, lads. Today what we're going to be doing is ranking Premier League strikers in a tier list. We've got the cheap tier, we've got the good tier, and we've got the elite tier. Sit back, relax, we're going to make this a series. Let me know what you want us to cover next, whether it's, Premier League wingers, Premier League centre mid / CDMs, Premier League cams, centre backs. There's going to be probably like 30 odd videos like this, because obviously we're going to try explore the top 5 leagues. Now this does take quite a while to edit, so hopefully you guys do enjoy, and obviously what I'm going to do, the main point of this is to give you guys some tips on some starting strikers, or even, in-game strikers, if you will, when it does come to the elite tier. And like I said, today we will be focusing on Premier League strikers. So what we're going to do, boys, is we're going to work from the cheap tier into the good tier into the elite tier. And just a heads up, the cheap tier isn't necessarily a way of saying they're shit. Some of them, maybe it's a way of saying they're not going to be great, but cheap tier as well, you could have some cheap little gems, but obviously cheap tier is the lowest tier out of these three. Elite tier is the big boys, and then the good tier is the, the meta boys, the usable lads that you're going to be wanting to look at. Also, as well, a heads up, we are not including every single Premier League striker in the game. We are literally, I think I've got like 20 to 25 strikers right now, or maybe 15 to 20 around that mark. We are obviously excluding the strikers that like little to nobody uses. Like obviously we're not going to be putting a 40 pace striker into a cheap tier, if you know what I mean. So we're going to be focusing on strikers that are at least semi-usable. So boys, starting off in the cheap tier, our first player is going to be Dominic CalvertLewin, and he's got an 81 rated card this year. And as I said, just because he's in a cheap tier does not necessarily mean by any means he is bad, alright? I'm not saying he's bad, but he is going to be one of the cheaper boys. If I had to guess, he'll be around that 10k mark. He's 3-star, and I feel like if he got a 4-star weak foot, I'm not saying he deserves 4-star skill moves or anything, because if you watch him in real life, he's not really a skiller, but I would have really liked to seen a 4-star skill move on him, because he's actually a very, very class striker in real life. He's got some pace about him. It's like 83, I'm pretty sure. His shooting's okay. His passing is not great whatsoever. His physical, though, is actually alright. He's one of those cards, and I remember his player of the month this FIFA, during FIFA 21, and he was actually a really, really, really fun card. As I said, though, that 3-star does let him down a little bit, and I mean, nonetheless, I'd probably say he'd be usable for the first 3 or 4 days, and then you can obviously sell him on. So he's the first card that's going to make the cheap tier. Next card, boys, is going to be Antonio. Now, as you guys know here, well, not all of you actually know this, so he was born in England, but he is Jamaican, and this year he actually did get called up to the Jamaican national team for the World Cup qualifications, it is, or qualifiers. So his new FIFA card should be Jamaican, but on the FIFA website that I'm looking at to, give me the official FIFA 22 ratings, it's still listed as English, so just to clear some things up there. But anyway, boys, Antonio, he is looking absolutely class this year. As I said, I don't think he's good enough to make the good tier, but he does have some good pace about him. He's got some good physical about him. His shooting as well is obviously always going to be good, and he's one of those players, I'm pretty sure he's got 4-star skill moves or 4-star weak foot, so it's not like he's a 3-star noob, you know what I mean, with that, like, Calvert-Lewin, if he had a 4-star weak foot, then maybe you could, debate Calvert-Lewin on the same level as this Antonio card, but I feel like Antonio's got those skill moves / weak foot that Calvert-Lewin does not have. Now, once again, he's probably going to be relatively cheap. There is rumours of him getting a player of the month, well, obviously he's got player of the month, so he should be getting a player of the month SBC in the first week or 2 weeks of FIFA 22, which will be absolutely phenomenal, so look out for that one. He'll be like a very, very fun card to have at the beginning of the game. But as for his gold rare card, I'm pretty sure it's 79 rated or 80 rated. He's not going to be an insane card. He's not going to be bad. Once again, similar to Calvert-Lewin, I'll probably rank him a tiny bit above Calvert-Lewin, but not enough to put him in a good tier. Next up, we have gone for Callum Wilson. Now, he's a little bit of an underrated lad. He had a cheeky little inform last year, and I believe he was actually quite good in game. Now, he's got around that 80 pace mark, which by no means is bad whatsoever, and once again, he does look like a very, very nice starter card to have in the starting squad. And once again, with him, these cards that are in the cheap, the cheap section, but are not cards you're going to be wanting to use all throughout FIFA, because I mean, I'll give him a week, right? A week tops, and the cards in this cheap tier, well, you're obviously going to start you're going to want to start moving on from them. But all in all, Callum Wilson doesn't look like a bad starter striker whatsoever. Next up, boys, we have gone for Jiminez. And now, although he's 83 rated, his shooting is definitely his best attribute. Obviously, he was very unfortunate this year with injuries, or last season, I should have said, with injuries. I'm pretty sure he had that head clash with David Luiz, so obviously he was ruled out for like 60% of it. But obviously, we all know Jiminez is a a very, very, very good striker on his day, and he's back to playing now, which is very, very nice. So, I mean, the reason he is in the cheap tier as well is he's got that 72 pace, and I'm not going to say that 72 pace makes him unusable. If you do have 72 pace, you're definitely going to want to have jacked out, like very, very jacked shooting, very, very good passing, and a very good weak foot. For example, like Harry Kane, who we'll get to later on. So, Jiminez is going to make the cheap tier. Next up, boys, it is going to be Lacazette, alright? And this is a little bit of an interesting one. He's 4-star, 4-star. He didn't have a bad season last year. He did bag 14 goals for the Gunners. But still, to his standards, it's not quite what Arsenal needed. Obviously, Arsenal had a really poor season. So, all in all, obviously, he wasn't quite up to expectations. He's 29, coming up 30 now. So, 82. But the thing is, he's only got 75 pace. And he's probably the best out of a lot, if I have to be honest. I'd probably, out of this whole cheap list that I'm doing here, I'd probably have to rank Lacazette and probably Antonio as the top 2 in this cheap tier. But still, all in all, Lacazette is probably going to be around that 5 to 15,000 coin mark. I don't see him being much more than that. He is not an extraordinary starter striker. He'll do the job, don't get me wrong. With a right chemistry boost, you can get him a plus 10 pace boost and obviously put him up to 85. That's not all in all bad, but still not really what you want. Now, boys, the last player to make this cheap tier is going to be Cavani, and he's just not going to be good this year, lads. I'm sorry. I'll probably genuinely say I'd rank Callum Wilson over Cavani, and the reason is, man, Cavani has been butchered this year by EA. He was an 84 rated last year with 72 or 73 pace. This year he's got a +1 upgrade because he's been very good for Manchester United, but what they've done is they've absolutely butchered his pace, giving him a -6 or a -7, 66 pace, lads. I wasn't even going to include Cavani in this list because even as a starter striker, man, 66 pace, and even with a correct chem style going to 76 or 77, he's still not going to be the fastest, lads. And it's really sucky. I really do hope. I've heard lots of things that, you know, the clunkier strikers this year, the strikers that with a better shot, maybe the taller strikers will be better, headers and that will be better, but still, even then, Cavani, 66 pace, he's a card you're necessarily going to want to avoid. So, all in all, for that cheap, you know, tier spot, if you do want an answer on who I think is the best striker in that cheap spot, I'm going to have to say it's between Lacazette or Antonio. It really depends if you value that extra 6 or 7 pace Antonio offers, or the better shooting stats and that better skill moves and weak foot, because Lacazette is 4-star, 4-star, whereas Antonio is 4-star, 3-star. So it's really up to you, but if I had to choose 2 cards from that cheap tier, it is going to be either Antonio or Alexandre Lacazette, as they're probably the most usable out of the 2. Now, boys, heading on over to the good tier. Some good cards, not quite elite, but good cards and more than usable cards. The cards that you're probably going to be wanting to target if you do have facilities, if you got the coins for it. So I'd say the worst one out of this lot will get done first, and it is going to be Bobby Firmino. I know he's a centre forward. We are going to count him as a striker for this video, but still, he has, once again, he's got a +2 downgrade, and his pace has been absolutely butchered from EA. Absolutely butchered, but still, the reason he makes this good tier, I was debating, and I'm going to admit Firmino is definitely not on the same level as some of the other cards you're going to see in this good tier. Alright, he's not on the same level as some of them, that's why I'm saying him first. But in my opinion, he just makes it above the cheap category, because Brazilian, Prem, and he still has the 5-star, 4-star. He's 5-star skills. He's not going to be cheap. I reckon he'll still be at least 25k plus, at least. Alright, lads. So the reason he's not on the cheap tier, I'm literally saying it now, he's the worst card in this good tier category, but still, he just makes a good tier, alright? He's got the 5-star skills, although his pace is down to like 77, I'm pretty sure it is. With the Hunter, you could fix that, putting him to like 86, 87, and he's one of the cards you can play at striker, you can even play him centre forward, or you can play him cam, so that does come in as a little bit of a good one with him. Next card is going to be Richarlison, alright, lads? Now, Richarlison is actually very, very good in game. I'm assuming he's still going to have a 5-star weak foot. He's going to be 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. He's gone ahead and gotten a +1 or a +1 from an 81 rated to an 82 rated. He looks very good this year, and I would definitely put him in the good tier. Last year he was around that 50 to 100k mark, and once again he'll probably be around that same mark this year. He is a very, very nice card, and I feel like there's no debate. No one can debate. He's definitely better than a cheap striker, and obviously he's not as good as an elite, so he makes that good tier perfectly. Next up, boys, a little bit of a controversial one. We are going to go for Harry Kane, alright? And I know this is a controversial one. People are saying he should be in the elite tier. Now, my reasoning behind behind him not being an elite tier is because when you see the, I'm going to say, 2 strikers we put into the elite tier, you're going to realise obviously Harry Kane wouldn't be as good as them. But remember, this isn't in real life as well, so it's not based in real life, but in game, in FIFA 22. So Harry Kane, now I have heard on the grapevine that heading this year is much more important, and I feel like using clunkier players, you know, players that we really wanted to avoid in FIFA 21, might actually be a lot more usable this year. But then again, you still want pace. I feel like pace is still going to be necessary, and I feel like it's always going to be necessary in FIFAs to come. And the reason, especially this year as well, when you've got centre backs like a 40-year-old Pepe from Porto, who's gotten a plus 14 pace boost. There is so much centre backs with 80 plus pace. You've got an 85 pace Klosterman, an 88 pace Lacroix, which is the fastest gold card centre back we have had in the history of FIFA. You're still going to need pace as a striker, and that's the reason Harry Kane does not make the elite tier list, because he does only have 70, I think 71 or 70 pace. But the good thing with him, boys, his shooting is magnificent with 91. His dribbling isn't great. He's still not going to have amazing agility nor balance, but the good thing about him, and the reason I feel like Harry Kane does make this good tier list, is because this year he has been upgraded from a 4-star weak foot to a 5-star weak foot. He's still 3-star skill moves, but he's going to be a proper target man up front. Got that 5-star weak foot, right foot, left foot, it doesn't matter. His shooting is going to be absolutely next level, so I feel like this good tier for him is justified. Next up, boys, we are going to go for the man himself, Jamie Vardy. It's a little bit unfortunate once again, although he did maintain his same rating, he got a -2 pace downgrade, going from 86 to 84, I'm pretty sure it is, or 88 to 86. It's one of the two. I'm not looking at the card right now, but you can see him on the screen with his creek stats. But he did get a little bit of a pace downgrade. Still, though, with a Hunter, he's got like 93 plus pace. He's going to have some really good shooting. The only thing about him is I really do hope, obviously, I'm pretty sure he was 3-star this year, so let's really hope that he does have a better weak foot and skill moves this year. But still, Jamie Vardy, I feel like he's got the pace, he's got the shooting, he's always going to be a good card. And one thing I can really vouch for this Jamie Vardy card is his body type is absolutely exceptional, lads. He's got a small, lean body type. He can wriggle in and out. If you guys haven't seen my FIFA 21 review, obviously I know it's different. He's still going to have the exact same body type though, and I know for a fact he's going to feel relatively silky on the ball. Next up, boys, it is going to be Gabriel Jesus, who has maintained his rating. Once again, I think he's got a -1 pace downgrade. So it looks like what EA are trying to do this year is, you know, take a little bit of pace off of the strikers and add more to the centre backs to make it a more even balance, and try and rule out maybe a fullbacks at centre back rule or something like that, or meta, I should say. But it's very interesting, man. Gabriel Jesus, still a really nice card. He's going to be 4-star in game, or sorry, 4-star, 3-star in game. That's skill moves as well. If the skill moves are still important, as important this year as it was last year, will be absolutely extraordinary. The thing with Gabriel Jesus, once again, chuck a Hunter on him, or just, you know, the right chem style that gets him a +10 pace boost. He'll go to 90 plus pace, get some good shooting boost. He's got the 4-star skill moves, and once again, similar to Jamie Vardy, the thing about him is he is very, 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 very agile. Can he literally move through defenders? And the thing is, like I said, pace is necessary for these lads because of all the fast centre backs. So I feel like being agile and fast is absolutely perfect as FIFA. And Jamie Vardy, or sorry, not Jamie Vardy, Gabriel Jesus and Jamie Vardy obviously do make for good tier list. Now, boys, this is going to be a controversial one, alright? A controversial one. It is going to be, people are saying you could have put him in elite, and if he was a tier between good and elite, I would have done so. It is going to be Aubameyang. Now, as an Arsenal fan, I love Aubameyang. Obviously, last season, he should have been an 89 last FIFA, to be fair, because he went from 88 in FIFA 20 and went down to 87 after scoring like 23 goals. But still, though, he definitely deserve this -2 downgrade, and once again EA have relatively butchered his pace. He's got a -2 downgrade on his overall rating, going from an 87 to an 85, but also he has got a -4 pace boost, a -1 shooting. I do believe though he's got like a +1 physical or a +1 dribbling, so it's not all bad, you know. EA giving him something to work with, but still, lads, 4-star Aubameyang, 89 pace as well, with a creeps chem style. He'll be like 96, 97 pace in game. His shooting will be very good, but I loved Aubameyang building a FIFA 21. The only thing about him is going to be his body type once again. So yeah, Aubameyang is literally in the borderline of good and elite, but still, I'm gonna definitely, you can't argue about it, man. He's always been a meta boy. I think there's been no FIFA where Aubameyang has not been usable. Obviously, before FIFA 15 or after FIFA 15 onwards, like even his Dortmund cards he got in the day was absolutely sensational. So Aubameyang definitely does justify himself in this good tier, and I still would think he'd be like 100,000 coins plus. So if I did have to pick one card I would recommend to pick up the most from that good tier, it is going to be, if you couldn't tell from my reaction, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. As I said, he is on the borderline to elite, but when you guys see these two elite strikers, you will see why. Now boys, the first elite striker, and once again he's going to be controversy around this, but if I got some very reliable people telling me some things about the game and what they think the meta is going to be, what the meta is going to be. Now the first striker is going to be Romelu Lukaku. Alright boys, and you know why? He's got the 4-star weak foot, he's left-footed, he's got a massive, I think he's got a +3 boost this year as well, which is absolutely class. But the thing is with him, right, once again, chuck a hunter on him, his pace is going to be very good in game, like 90 plus pace, his shooting is out of this world. I loved his shooting this year, his shooting is going to be absolutely out of this world. He's once again going to be one of the cards where his balance does let him down a little bit, but he's got the 4-star skill moves, or sorry, the 4-star weak foot. He is a proper target man up front, and although he's got actually good agility, some good like reactions in that, it's always just his balance that lets Lukaku down. But the reason I'm putting him in the elite tier is because, one, Premier League, he's got Belgian links as well, he gets a hyperlink with KDB, but he's very good for hybrids, you know, if you could link him in with like a Mertens, if you will, from the Serie A. I believe he's 84 or 83 this year, stuff like that. So the reason you could make an argument to say he's similar as Aubameyang, but I would put Lukaku a tiny bit above Aubameyang simply because of the new meta, you know, a tall striker. But the thing is, right, and I feel like, as I said earlier, for a good striker or a tall striker to be very usable, he has to have pace and he has to be strong. If you're tall, don't have pace, and you're not strong, then that's not great. See, look at Aubameyang. He's not strong, but he's got very good pace and good dribbling. Lukaku, on the ball dribbling is good, disregarding his balance, but he's an absolute unit. He's going to be hard to tackle. As I said, with a right chem style, he's going to have 90 plus pace, and I mean, 4-star weak foot will be confirmed. He's confirmed to have a 4-star weak foot, but the 4-star skill moves, I'm assuming he's going to be a 3-star skill move again this year. That is yet to be confirmed, but still 3-star, 4-star for him. He's going to be a target man as well. Like I said, I did hear on a grapevine, heading is going to be very OP. So Romelu Lukaku is our first elite striker. Now the second one, this is obvious, alright? We're missing one man, alright? And it is a man himself. One of the two goes, it is Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, there's controversy about his card getting that downgrade from a 92 to a 91, but still, he's going to be a million coins plus, and you have to put him in elite tier for Premier League strikers, don't you? He's going to have the 5-star skill moves. The only thing about him, I'm probably assuming the only thing you could find that's wrong with him would most likely be his stamina. I'm assuming he'll have around the 80 stamina mark, if you know, because in-game stats haven't fully been released, but I think this year he had 82 stamina, so I would assume that maybe this card is around the 80, 79 stamina mark. But either way, boys, sub him off in the 70th minute. You've got the best striker, I'll probably say top 4 best cards in the game, plus obviously him being Manchester United and Premier League is going to add a lot of value. Now as well, I did actually forget to mention another card that does make for good tier is going to be Anthony Martial, 81 rated. I literally forgot about it. I have a list on my phone of all the cards. There's a lot of players, you know, so don't blame me. So we're going back to it, but in the mid tier it is going to be Anthony Martial. Although he did get a -3 downgrade, he's still going to always be a meta boy. As long as he's got pace, dribbling, and he is still 4-star, he'll be very good. That still doesn't change a thing. No, he's still going to be like, I reckon 50 to 100k, maybe even more, but I still would rank Aubameyang over Martial, especially this year with a -3 for Anthony Martial. So boys, that'll bring me to the end of this FIFA 22 Premier League strikers tier list. Remember as well, this is all just my opinion. This is what I think will be meta this year. This is what I've heard is going to be meta this year. Obviously as well, keep in mind these are all the confirmed 110% ratings and all the confirmed 110% stats. Let me know what you agree with, let me know what you disagree with. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Once again as well, do not take this too deep. The main goal here is just to, you know, kind of give you guys some guidance on what you want to focus on. If I did, like I said, pick a player from each category, if you're working with a small budget from that cheap category, I probably would, as I said earlier, you know, all the players I mentioned earlier, you'd probably want to go for them. Good tier, you'd want to probably lean towards Aubameyang, try save up for him, and elite tier, I mean, out of Lukaku or Ronaldo. Obviously Ronaldo's going to be a whole lot more expensive than Lukaku, but still, I feel like Lukaku, like players like Lukaku and Erling Haaland are going to be absolutely nutty this year. I already know it, man. If you guys did enjoy it, let me know what Premier League position you do want next. Do you guys want wingers, so left mids and left wings, right mids, right wings? Do you want CDM, centre mids, cams, centre backs, full backs, goalies? Let me know what you guys want next. I'm going to literally, there's going to be a lot of these videos. I mean, as well, at the end of every, you know, league with all the different positions, we're going to make a big, like, 30-40 minute video going over each and every position. It's going to be a lot of editing, boys, but I'm absolutely here for it. I absolutely love it. Thanks for all the support as always, boys. See you later.